welcome to the channel. So I decided to, screw myself over again. I thankfully did not go for a budget build. No, this is not a starter home. So if you decide to download it off the gallery, my origin ID is MadnessGlitched, and I'll have the name of the build in the description box below because I don't know what I'm gonna name it yet. It's not posted. It should be on the gallery by the time this video is up on YouTube. So go ahead, search, like I said, by my origin ID because everything else is just impossible to try to find. So yes, I decided to budget myself, but not with money. Like, I could use as much simoleons as I felt like it worked. But the catch was I wanted it to seem very outdated, like the furnishings had been left in the house for years and years, and that the that the house had remained empty for years. There's a ghost story, long lore or whatever about this house if you decide to check out the LP that this build will be a part of. It's going to be Sasha's house from Sasha's Fate, my Paranormal LP. The first part of that should drop shortly on the channel, so subscribe, hit the notification bell if you are interested and wanting to know when I'm going to update, because I don't have a schedule and videos are going to be random, hit and miss. So this build, it hurt me. It hurt. It took way longer than it should have. It's basic furnishings. I wanted it, like I said, to look run down and older stuff. I wanted it to be harder to live in, So I used a lot of the debug items from Eco Lifestyle. Yeah, Eco Lifestyle. And I don't know. I like it, but I wouldn't download this off the gallery and use it for myself, so don't feel obligated. This is not a great build. There is no refrigerator, there's no working oven. In one of the bathrooms, the bathtub is just a trash item. Nothing is kind of workable. I do have one usable bed, but it's one of the ones from Eco Lifestyle, one of the $25 or 25 simoleon beds. And then I have the mattress and boards and everything in the other bedroom, because this is a 2-bedroom house, even though Sasha's not going to need that second bedroom. I don't know what I'm going to convert that into. But yeah, this house gave me so many issues. I built the house 3 different times, couldn't figure out the roofing, of course. That's just going to be, something about the channel. I also am going to continue to move it around the lot, trying to figure out the right place for it, which, spoiler, this ain't it. So the roofing gave me such problems. In fact, it was so bad that at one point I have to completely cut the video off, or cut the recording off, and just mess with it and mess with it and mess with it until I get it where I leave it. But I'm not satisfied with it, and I think I even fix it while on the recording later, but I don't know. My problem was, and I'm sure for anybody who's built on The Sims, you will know this, you will know the roof difficulties, is that if your roof goes over the room that you're currently building in, when you're trying to furnish it, the roof will actually be in your way, in your vision. And I did want the upstairs to be usable, or at least me to be able to furnish it, because I was just seeing nothing but roofs and roof lines when I tried to look into the rooms, which you do end up with a very decent sized upstairs. And I do figure the roof out, so if you download this, you will not have any problem seeing in the upstairs. Now, mind you, I picked the worst, oops, hit the microphone. I picked the worst lot in the entire Windenburg. to build this house. The camera, ugh, it is infuriating. If you've ever built on this lot, you know that the camera moves on its own. It's gonna continuously lift higher and higher and not where I want it. It's like impossible to do anything from the back of the house because of that tall wall. It automatically lifts the camera up to the very top. So then you can't see anything. It's like you're in a airplane. It's like you're in a helicopter trying to build. It's ridiculous. So I'm sorry if I make anybody sick with the camera angles, but the Sims camera it was not doing it for me. So heads up, if you try to build on this lot, it just, no. Don't record it. Don't record your speed build. I almost moved to a different lot to build this just so I didn't have these difficulties, but I wanted this lot. I wanted to build on this lot so I could see everything, like my surroundings, everything that was going on. But if I could go back, I would not build on this lot. And just thinking about trying to do an LP with the camera angles, I'm already like internally crying. So depending on how bad it is once we get into the LP, I may move this house. But I will let everybody know if I do that. These windows also gave me a hard time. Because of the roof line, the windows were all wonky, so I had to edit each one of them and make them the right height so you could actually see in and out of the windows. The floor plan probably was the least struggle of the entire build. Now, bear with me, the floor plan is a bit weird. I really wanted a double staircase, but the upstairs it couldn't happen. It's only one stair, but it's fine. Your Sims still have plenty of room. But I have a really big kitchen. I'm really looking forward to redoing it and furnishing it once we get into the LP and once Sasha starts figuring some things out. But for the moment, the kitchen's pretty bare. It's basically just got counters. So yeah, you'll see in a minute once I start furnishing. Though right now I'm still struggling with wallpapers. I really liked this wallpaper, but the bottom half, the wood paneling, it doesn't match the windows. And I struggled. I went through every wallpaper in the game, and none of them was the right brown to match the windows. Infuriating. I also changed the banister, changed the railing, changed the stairs, because once I get into everything, oh, that also doesn't match. But anyway, everything's gonna get that dark brown coloring. I can't do anything with the window frames. They stay the same color, because it was either this dark brown or black, and I really didn't want black. So I also struggle with this fence. Heads up, there is no fence. I go to the debug and find this really cool broken fence that came with Cottage Living, and I love it. It really has that rundown look like I was wanting and like I was looking for. Okay, so let's discuss gates in The Sims. Can we just get a gate update? That would be so beneficial. Every gate in the game needs the option of a 1-tile gate and a 2-tile gate. This whole, some of them have 1 tile, some of them had 2 tiles. It just, no. And then I think it's the vampire one, never fits anywhere, which I love that gate, but it's so huge. Anyway, rant about a fence I'm not even going to use, a gate I'm not even going to use. Anyway, I had kind of decided on this, which, as you can see, there's a gate or a fence on all sides of this lot, so I don't even know why I bothered adding one, except for the fact that that was one of the few areas that I could actually use some rundown, old, broken items. So I felt like I kind of had to. Yeah, I don't think Sasha is gonna need an actual like sitting room, living room, whatever. So So I'm actually, what's the living room in this build is gonna eventually be her seance room, but she doesn't have any of that stuff yet. We're gonna have to get there. She has her crystal ball, but that's about it. So on the first, oh my god, I swear my first language is English. Bear with me. I'm gonna blame it on the pandemic. I don't get to talk to anybody. I don't get to go outside. It's the pandemic. I can't English anymore. So, what was I even talking about? Okay, so whatever. This is the kitchen layout that I was talking about. It's really big and I love the layout. And right in here, I think I'm gonna make that like the coffee nook, which yeah, you saw me almost place a coffee pot and then remember this is an old rundown house. So eventually Sasha will probably get a coffee maker and a tea maker. I also put the island counters over there, which I really like, but I don't think was very like old-timey. So eventually I get rid of them and put a basic like breakfast table over there and some chairs. The tool mod really came in clutch for this build because we don't have anything that's really run down, old, decrepit, haunted looking. So I had to use the tool mod to manipulate a whole lot of items. Well, a whole lot of chairs and picture frames. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, I mean, there's not much to this build. I wanted to make it look good. I wanted to make it look really run down. I wanted to really push that point. But I was not gonna take hours and hours just to place cobwebs, because honestly, that's the only thing I could have done. I could have added cobwebs everywhere. But at the end of the day, I was just like, I ain't got time for this. I wanted to get into the actual gameplay. This build has taken me almost 4 days because every time I started, I'm like, oh, I'm not satisfied. I'll just come back to it. Yeah, look at this refrigerator. It came with the eco lifestyle, and I love it. So yeah, that's our refrigerator. Obviously, Sasha's not going to be making many meals with that broken, dead refrigerator, but I also removed the stove and put in the fake broken one of them. I don't know if you can repair that if you're not on the community lot in, what is the town that came with Eco Lifestyle? Evergreen Harbor? Anyway, I don't know if you can actually repair the stove, which Sasha, she don't have the skills for that anyway. I don't want to go too much into her storyline. Just know that this is for the Paranormal LP, so I am at the end gonna move this house or change the lot type from residential to haunted house. So, I mean, that is a little fun, whatever. But if you don't have the paranormal pack, or if you don't want this to be a haunted house and want to play in it for whatever reason, feel free to change that. Of course, this cannot be any form of tiny home, but it could work for something. I will eventually post an updated version of this once Sasha has the money to renovate it. But at the moment, this is just what we're working with. This is how she, air quotes, bought the house. Like I said, I don't want to give away too many spoilers, but she didn't buy this house. Anyway, you just saw me put that stove. You just saw me put this stove in, and I even added the door that's apart from it, and used the tool mod, of course, to rotate it and make that look like it was laying on the floor, like somebody just ripped the oven door off. Maybe it was a spirit, wink wink. But anyway, I also, yeah, I don't know. Cheeky little shout out to the Grim Reaper over here in the background. I don't know if anybody noticed him until now, but in the side garden, the Grim Reaper's out there. So I did add some cheeky little gravestones into this build. So I'm hoping we get visited by some specific ghosts, because I did actually add them to my game and killed them off and then hid the gravestones, which, you know, so that'll be a interesting find for Sasha later on. And a little cheeky Easter egg for all of you who have watched the speed build. Yeah, I was struggling. I was like, oh, how can I make this look run down? So I'm like, oh yeah, let's put holes in the walls and cracks in the walls and cobwebs. But in order to make it look realistic, it takes so much time. I can't justify spending that kind of time just adding cobwebs and stuff. To all of you builders out there that can do that, that have the patience for that, like, bless you. But no, I really want to get into the gameplay. I'm like so excited. The whole time I'm building this, I'm like, oh, Sasha can do this. Oh, Sasha can do that. Or maybe this is the backstory for this item. Like all of these creepy kid toys in this bedroom. I wonder what that could mean. But we'll see. I'm so excited to get to the actual playing of this that I didn't care too much how the house was furnished, which is fine because the whole point of this build is that it's not properly furnished. This house has been laying empty for years. I do think I turned off the camera for a part of the debug clutter coming up. I had an issue with the tool mod. For anybody who regularly uses the tool mod, you'll know that if you turn the grid system on for the, like, move your object, sometimes the grid actually gets stuck and no matter what you do, you can get rid of it. So I finished the build and took this, well, I didn't take the screenshots because the grid would have been up there, but I finished cluttering the house and then I had to completely close out of my game and relaunch it in order to take screenshots. But you know, it is what it is. This right here was so fun. Like in real life, crooked paintings drive me crazy. I have bad OCD, but in the game this was so cheeky and fun and very like, this house is old or this house is haunted. But here's the grid that I couldn't get rid of, so I was like, okay, I guess I'm done. I didn't want y'all to try to watch this with that grid on, and I really didn't feel like restarting the build for that. But here are the screenshots, and I hope you enjoyed the build. I hope you stay with me as we venture into Sasha and her story and get to know this house and history a little better. So finish watching the screenshots. I hope you liked the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you like me, feel free to subscribe. Like I said, hit that notification bell if you want to be notified of when the LP actually is up, because I don't have any idea of an upload schedule, and I promise my English will get better as this progresses. Anyway, I hope you stick around. Bye.